Good afternoon to sunny Amsterdam. Welcome to the University Industry Interaction Conference with Sacha Patera from the United States. It's a pleasure having you here, and taking this opportunity, we will have lots of questions to ask you, but I just have to select a couple of them. We are really interested to know if in the United States you are witnessing the same changes that we are witnessing in Europe in respect to this topic, because what is happening here is that we are moving from a model really focused on patents and licensing to a model that it's about partnerships and relationship within university industry interaction. Is something similar happen in the United States, or it's just something that it's happening in Europe?
In fact, we are witnessing exactly the same thing. There is definitely been a shift the last 10, 15 years, I would say, probably a little bit less, maybe more like 10 to 5 years. Companies are really not seeing the value of the licenses and the IP. They're not seeing the return on that. If that's what they're measuring success with the academic relationship, then they're not seeing much return there. On the other hand, what they do see value in is research collaborations, recruitment of students, recruitment of talent. In fact, I was just talking very recently to somebody from Dow Corning. He was involved in external partnerships, academic partnerships, and he was actually giving me measures that they were measuring success by how much faster their projects had been accelerated. Mm-hmm. The fact that they were saving by not having to hire specialized people in a specific area to solve a particular internal problem. Uh-huh. That they weren't having to make investment in capital, so significant equipment, things like that, because of the partnership that they could have with universities. And as a result of the partnerships, they identified students and trainees, postdocs, who were experts in a particular area, and that they could then hire into the company. So absolutely, I think we're witnessing the same thing. So it was beautiful to hear it from unsolicited from him, really reaffirming everything that you're saying.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much. We also would like to approach another issue, and it's in terms of universities. All universities aim to recruit very good academics, so academics with a lot of publication, recognized academics. However, once they are in the institution, we are asking them to collaborate with companies and to do technology transfer and to commercialize their research. Isn't that a little bit contradictory? We are looking for something when people are applying for jobs and some requirements are needed. However, once they are in the institution, we are asking them for something else. Is it also like that in the States, and what do you think about it?
It's difficult for me to speak for all of the institutions in the United States, honestly. Undoubtedly, there are many institutions that are still very much focused on hiring academics who are, the traditional kind of academic. And yes, I'm sure that kind of, it's unfair to hire one kind of person and then expect them to do something else. I know that what we've seen at our institution is a little bit of a shift, where the younger faculty that are being hired are actually contemplating their ability to fund their research programs, not just from federal funding, but also from industry funding, which automatically implies that they have to be able to think more strategically about their projects and how their projects might be received by industry. Are they solving the right questions? Can they find interesting problems within the kinds of questions that industry is looking to solve? So at least that's been my observation at our university, is a bit of a shift, not in all disciplines, but certainly in the engineering departments and in the biomedical sciences, hiring people who have a more new way of thinking, I guess.
Interesting. And my last question is a question that I'm asking all the speakers in our conference, which is how do you see university-industry relationship in 10 years? What do you think is the future in this field?
Well, I definitely think that the partnerships are going to have to get stronger. My sense, and from the colleagues that I have in industry, my sense is that they're definitely shifting away from investing in the R of R&D, and that's where they're going to be looking to academia to fill in that gap. If that's the case, we're all going to have to get much better, much more nimble, much more efficient and effective at negotiating these terms. I think there needs to be a move away from protecting IP the way that we have been, understanding that if you actually do metrics on it, that there's not that, to the university, the value is more down the road. And so maybe thinking of a slightly different way of reaping the benefits of the intellectual property that's developed at the university, rather than focusing so solely on the IP terms, which can then be such a turnoff to industry. And so we've already seen some in the United States. We've seen a little bit of that. Minnesota has a new program that they call Minnesota IP, which is very straightforward terms. Penn State as well. I know that our university at Northwestern is also looking at different ways of valuing intellectual property. And so my guess is that probably in the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to be sort of the norm, not the exception.
Thank you very much for your kind words. And from this wonderful location in a boat in an Amsterdam canal, I want to thank you again for your words and thank you again for your attendance to this conference.
Thank you for inviting.